States' push to legalize sports betting differs by region. Cherry Hill, NJ. In the years. By year's end, legalization is possible in a dozen states in the Northeast and Midwest. But most states, state lawmakers are weighing the benefits of a slight boost in state revenue and the ability to add consumer protections against concerns about the morality of allowing another form of gambling. Sorting out it's not clear whether legalization will happen in all corners of the country over the next few years or if opposition will keep it concentrated in the regions where it's already taken root. With just two exceptions, the Deep South states have been among the most resistant to legalizing sports betting. In Louisiana, Republican State Senior Danny Martini, Opponents such as Republic Valerie Hodges, Watt. Before the May 2018 Supreme Court ruling that allowed sportsbooks across the country, full-service ones were running legally only in Nevada. Last year, bills are awaiting signatures from the governors in Illinois, Maine, and New Hampshire. Colorado voted. 4 more states are considering legalization during their current legislative sessions, but most legislatures have wrapped up their work for the year. Lawmakers in 8. There are several other states where lawmakers might have an appetite for legalization, but there isn't agreement in the complicated and tightly regulated gambling industry on how or whether to do it. A common factor in those places, including California and Florida, is the prevalence of casinos operated by Native American tribes. Agreeing to allow, Chris Grove, a gambling industry strategist at Eilers & Krasik, said he expects several states, mostly in the Northeast and Upper Midwest, to legalize sports betting in the next year, and then for the spread to slow because the remaining states are reluctant to allow gambling generally or because of tribal influence. But Bill Pascrell III, a lobbyist for some gambling companies, expects that even some states that have been traditionally reluctant to legalize gambling will allow sports betting in the future. He points to the absence of sports gambling in California, Texas, and Florida, the nation's most populous states, leaves a gaping hole in the industry. They are home to more. Other states, including Utah and South Carolina, are unlikely to welcome sports betting anytime soon because it's difficult to sell any form of gambling there. Over the past year, states with legal sportsbooks have reported about $9 billion in bets being made. But sportsbooks, according to their most recent financial reports, 3 of the states with legal sportsbooks are on pace to bring in far less than they expected in taxes their first fiscal year. Mississippi is. Even in New Jersey, where mobile betting has caught on quickly, sports betting taxes amount to far less than 1% of all state revenue. Washington State Republic. Derek Stanford, he said the state needs to work through concerns ranging from the effects of legalized sports betting on public health to figuring out how it would affect tribal casinos. Associated Press reporters Melinda Deslata in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Rachel LaCourte in Olympia, Washington, and Sarah Zimmerman in Salem, Oregon, contributed to this report. Follow Jeff Mulvihill at https://twitter.com/Jeff Mulvihill.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. I keep fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.